Welcome to The Source, where we combine the headlines with in-depth conversations with the newsmakers themselves. I'm Pinky Webb. Today on the program, the Senate adjourns the third and final session of the 18th Congress. Senate Majority Leader Mig Zubiri is poised to take over as the new Senate President after another contender for the post, Senator Cynthia Villar, backs out. And 5 Duterte appointees failed to secure the approval of the Commission on Appointments. Former COMELEC Commissioner George Garcia joins us live. As the Senate prepares for its transition to the 19th Congress, senators named Mig Zubiri as Senate President pro tempore effective June 29th. This means he will take over in the absence of Senate President Tito Sotto, who steps down on June 30th, before the formal election for the Senate leadership takes place. The coast is now clear for Zubiri to become the next Senate President after another strong contender for the top Senate post, Cynthia Villar, backed out.
Hindi, wala nang SP race. Ayoko na. I want a simple life.
I've always wanted to form a supermajority in the Senate. So I would like to thank from the bottom of my heart Ma'am Cynthia Villar for her support and graciousness and magnanimity in helping me form a supermajority.
If Zubiri becomes Senate President, the next Senate President pro tempore will be Loren Legarda, while Joel Villanueva will replace him as the majority leader. Other possible chairmanships are flashed on your screens. Neophyte Senator Robin Padilla will get the constitutional amendments and social justice panels, while Rafi Tulfo will lead the energy and newly created OFW committees. Let's get the latest from our correspondent, Amor Santos, who is at the Pasay City Jail. Amor, what is the situation there now?
I think anytime now we're expecting the release from the Pasay City Jail of formerly Executive Mohit Dargani inside their detention facility, and their lawyers and Don come in, followed by personnel from the office of the
Amor. Okay, Amor. Unfortunately, when we did our test a while ago, your report was quite clear. However, the internet connection seems to be unstable at the moment, and we can't quite understand everything you're saying. Let's give Amor a chance to be able to find a better spot to be able to give us the latest over there at Pasay City Jail. Again, breaking news here on CNN Philippines. Mohit Dargani and Lincoln Ong are expected to be released from the Pasay City Jail today after the Senate ordered their release. Of course, the Senate having ended the 18th Congress yesterday. The two gentlemen have been detained since November in the Pasay City Jail for contempt charges. Again, let's try to bring back Amor Santos. Amor, are you there? And I'm hoping this is going to be a better signal for us. Okay. All right. So again, we're having a difficult time trying to get a clear communication with our correspondent there. But I do believe the lawyer of Mohit Dargani and Lincoln Ong, or one of the two, Attorney Ferdy Topacio, has also agreed to grant us an interview. Is Attorney Topacio on the line? Attorney Topacio, good morning to you. Maraming salamat po sa inyong oras.
Yes, good morning to the loveliest lady on Philippine television.
Tell us what's happening, Attorney Topacio. Ang kliyente niyo ho ba parehong si Mohit Dargani and Lincoln Ong?
Yes, Miss Pinky, I'm here inside the conference area of the Pasay City Jail together with attorney Don Kapunan, who is also one of the counsels of Messrs. Ong and Dargani.
Mm-hmm. What's happening now, sir?
They have been released. All the paperwork has been done, and we are just waiting for their personal effects to be returned to them, and then they will proceed to their destinations.
I see. So hinihintay na lang po yung mga personal effects. In other words, bago po sila napasok sa kulungan, of course, kung ano yung kanilang mga gamit was stored, at yan po ang hinihintay na lang na makuha nila muli.
Opo, and they are eager to be reunited with their families and to go on with their lives.
I understand, of course, in the past, no, Attorney Topacio, even I think the wife, is it, of Lincoln Ong had appealed to the senators for his release dahil nga daw malaki na ang naging epekto nung kanyang pag-detain dyan sa Pasay City Jail. Can you tell us more about how they are? Kamusta po sila ngayon?
Well, si Mr. Lincoln Ong po ay sabik ng makita siyempre ang kanyang asawa at medyo gigil na nga po ito. At of course ay meron po silang bagong silang na anak that he's also very eager to see and to hold in his arms.
Mm-mm. And what about Mr. Dargani? Can you tell us more about how he's doing?
He's in good spirits. You know, Mr. Dargani is considered as the head of his family. His mom, as we all know, is raised him as a single parent, and is also eager to be reunited with his sister, of whom he is very fond.
Yeah. So, hinihintay na lang po yung kanilang personal effects. What happens after this? Because while the committee report was not signed by a majority of the senators, upon the prodding, of course, of the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee Chairman Richard Gordon, I understand that possibly maaari pa rin ho siguro silang ma-charge in the future regarding Farmally and the controversy surrounding the Farmally issue.
Yes, po. Under Senate rules, if the committee report does not obtain a majority vote of the committee, then it is archived. It is not reported out to the plenary. Of course, Mr. Gordon, I believe, based on media reports, has signified his intention to file cases. That is his right, as it is our right to defend our client. But at least in court, the rules are clear, the rules are fair, and there is legal representation. And most importantly, there is due process where the rights of my clients will be protected and they will be entitled to be heard and to their day in court.
But Attorney, maaari din pong buksan ito muli in the 19th Congress. Senator Risa Hontiveros could possibly do this again, open this, ito pong kanilang nakita noong 18th Congress, maaari ulit buhayin is basically what I'm saying in the 19th Congress. Paano ho ba yan? Are you looking at possible legal maneuvering so that you will be able to keep your clients where they are in their homes and not again possibly be detained because of contempt charges? Pinaghahandaan nyo na ho ba yan?
Opo, pero alam niyo po, ewan ko kung anong motibo ni Ms. Risa Hontiveros, because this issue has been talked to death already after 18 hearings. And of course, she's free to do what she wants. She's free to file a resolution. But I hope that the next Senate will realize that there is nothing more to be gained. I think Ms. Risa Hontiveros is just grandstanding, being the lone survivor of the decimation of the opposition. Nagpapabibo lang po yan, nagpapaingay lang po yan si Ms. Risa Hontiveros because she's the kind of politician that thrives on noise without any substance.
But hindi lang po si Senator Risa Hontiveros ang nag-sign itong report. Meron pa pong ibang mga senador who also affixed their signature in the report. In other words, naniniwala po sila na meron pong naging anomalya dito po sa pagbili ng mga PPE, etc. with regards to Farmally, so that it's just not her. It just so happens na siya lang po, siya yung lone opposition senator na nanalo in the 19th Congress, who will sit in the 19th Congress. It's just that hindi ho nakakuha ng majority na signatures para po to discuss this in plenary.
Opo, pero hindi po yata nare-realize ni Ms. Risa Ontiveros na hindi po prosecutor, hindi investigative body, hindi po hukuman ang Senado. The information there should be used to amend or create new legislation. Hindi po
in aid of legislation
ng kahit sino. Opo. So what they should be doing in the next Senate is to create new legislation, amend existing legislation based on the facts. Hindi po trabaho ng Senado na mag-prosecute, mag-imbestiga. Kung may anomalya po, Ms. Risa Ontiveros is free to go to court, as we have gone to court to sue her for trying to secure a false testimony against my client. At nasa court na yata siya, di ba meron pa siyang kaso ni Aguirre. So sa hukuman na po, bakit sa Senado, why is she using the Senate as a court? Mali pong misuse of legislative powers po yan ni Senator Ontiveros.
What are your clients planning to do? I just want to go back to this. Si Mr. Dargani was arrested sometime in November and thereafter detained. I remember in the Senate, and then dinala po sa Pasay City Jail end of November. Pero si Lincoln Ong much earlier, I believe, September 21 pa po siya under Senate custody. Ano po? What are you thinking? Are you going to? Are there plans to file charges against any individuals?
Ma'am, not to be rude, but I think I'm needed right now to do something. I'm sorry po. I have to cut short. I'm so sorry. I really apologize deeply to you. But we are needed to do something on behalf of our clients po. I have to cut short. I'm really sorry po.
Attorney, maraming salamat po sa inyo.
Okay,
thank you for your time, sir. Si Attorney Ferdinand Topacio. So basically, he's saying that hinihintay na lamang yung personal effects of Mohit Dargani and Lincoln Ong para po makalabas na sila sa kulungan. Again, as mentioned a while ago, Lincoln Ong has been detained in September in the Senate, and Mohit Dargani in November, but both of them were transferred to the Pasay City Jail end of November because they refused, according to the senators, to cooperate in the investigation. So our Amor Santos is there. Amor, can you hear me?
Yes, thank you. Am I clear now?
I can hear you, Amor. Please go ahead.
All right. Yes, thank you. We're still on standby here outside the Pasay City Jail. We're expecting the release of formerly executives Mohit Dargani and Lincoln Ong anytime. Now, actually, we're now seeing them. I don't know. I'm not sure if you're seeing live pictures of these, but we're seeing them from where we are outside the Pasay City Jail. There's Mohit Dargani and Lincoln Ong wearing face masks, of course, and both are wearing caps. Mohit Dargani is wearing sunglasses. We're expecting them to leave the Pasay City Jail anytime now. Earlier, Ferdinand Topacio, one of their lawyers, as well as attorney Don Kapunan, went inside with them for some of the procedures for their clients. Also, we've seen the Senate security personnel arriving earlier to serve the relief orders. And right now, Mohit Dargani and Lincoln Ong are walking free from the Pasay City Jail. They are escorted by Bureau of Jail personnel as well as their lawyers. Of course, the members of the media are on standby here. Earlier, Attorney Ferdinand Topacio said they won't be giving any statement for now. They requested the members of the media to give Lincoln Ong and Mohit Dargani some privacy. Thank you.
Yes, actually, Amor, we're showing live pictures right now who I'm seeing at the moment wearing a white T-shirt that has to be Lincoln Ong.
Yes, that's Lincoln Ong. Yes, thank you.
Oh, is Mohit Dargani the one in the light sky blue cap?
He's the one wearing a blue long sleeve. I think that's denim.
Okay. All right. Sorry about that. Medyo nawala yung monitor ko. So, I was able, Amor, nakausap ko kanina si Attorney Ferdinand Topacio. He gave us a couple of minutes of his time. And sinabi nga nila that, as you mentioned a while ago, Attorney Topacio was saying to give Lincoln Ong and Mr. Dargani some time and some privacy because kailan pa ba sila nandyan? Since end of November. So it's been over, I would say, 6 months that they've been detained at the Pasay City Jail. And there was a Supreme Court ruling on ano ba talaga ang karapatan ng Senado in terms of detaining people who have been called as resource persons in their hearings in aid of legislation. And it's quite clear, no, Amor, na talagang may karapatan ang Senado na gawin yan, but they must release these detained persons or individuals upon the resolution of two things. Matapos yung report, yung una, or matapos yung Kongreso.
Yes, Pinky, that's exactly what Senate President Tito Soto said. That's why he signed the release orders on Wednesday. That's yesterday, the last session day. And the directive was effective today. So just to provide more context so the public can recall that Dargani and Ong were transferred from Senate detention to the Pasay City Jail late November. That's more than 6 months ago because they refused to submit financial documents subpoenaed by the senators on supposed anomalous government supply deals with Pharmally during the pandemic. The senators believed these documents would shed light on their probe. Now, Ong was first cited in contempt in September for allegedly lying during the hearings. He was first placed under house arrest because he caught COVID-19 and then was transferred to a detention room at the Senate. Now, Dargani and his sister Twinkle were arrested in November when they tried to leave the country from the Davao City Airport. Now, earlier we also had an interview with Attorney Ferdinand Topacio. He also said that his clients are, quote, in good spirits, eager to rebuild their lives and clear their names, unquote. He also said the petition at the Supreme Court calling for their release may be moot and academic now, but he's hoping the High Court will issue a definitive ruling limiting Senate powers, and he's also considering legal action, including suing Senate Sergeant at Arms Rene Samonte for what he said was for allegedly intimidating his clients. Now, doon naman sa Pharmally documents, because we asked Attorney Topacio earlier, bakit hindi na lang ibinigay nila Mohit Dargani and Lincoln Ong yung Pharmally documents to avoid jail time? Yes. Ang sabi niya nung una, this may still be covered by the sub judice rule, kaya ayaw niyang mag-go into detail. But he also said, to quote him, sabi niya, to be blunt about it, sabi niya, businessmen have to make money at entitled naman daw sila sa kanilang privacy. But he refused to go on detail on that. Of course, sinabi na daw ng COA, or they believe that there are no anomalies or no overpricing. The camp of Mohit Dargani and Lincoln Ong believes that. But of course, that still has to be determined through hearing. Now, Blue Ribbon Committee Chairman Richard Gordon, sinabi naman niya sa reporters last night that he still believes Pharmally officials should be freed on June 30. Senate President Tito Soto believes as soon as the last session day kahapon, pero si Gordon, June 30 pa daw dapat dahil yun yung official na magpo-close yung 18th Congress. Pero sabi ni Gordon, he's now leaving the Pharmally probe to the next Senate and the incoming administration. Yung draft report nga failed to hurdle committee level because apparently some lawmakers hesitated to affix their signatures because among those recommended to be charged in that report is President Rodrigo Duterte. Yesterday, Senate Majority Leader Mig Zubiri and Sherwin Gatchalian explained that the link of President Duterte to those allegedly involved will only be circumstantial evidence, so he should not have been included in that report. So that's the context.
Right. In fact, just to add on to what you were saying with regards to Senator Mig Zubiri and Senator Win Gatchalian, basically, ang sinasabi nila, hindi ba, Amor, kung hindi naroon yung pangalan ni President Duterte as those recommended to be charged, they could have possibly signed it. Kaya lang, dahil nandun, hindi sila pumirma dito sa draft report na inihanda ng Senate Blue Ribbon Committee. But then again, maybe Amor, just to refresh our memory, how many signatures did they get?
Well, that draft Pharmally report got 7 signatures from the regular members. sa regular members yun. Meron pang 2 other senators who signed, pero ex-official members sila, si Senate Minority Leader Franklin Drilon at Senate President Pro Tempore Ralph Recto. Ngayon, 7 ang kailangan ay 9, yung majority of the 17 regular members of the Blue Ribbon Committee.
Yun din yung importanteng malaman doon. Kailangan majority ng mga miyembro ng Senate Blue Ribbon Committee, which is regularly 17, ano?
Yes.
All right. Okay, Amor, thank you so much for that report. That's Amor Santos reporting to us from the Pasay City Jail again, where 2 individuals implicated in the Farmally controversy, Lincoln Ong and Mohit Dargani, have been released after over 6 months in detention in the Pasay City Jail. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. I'm Pinky Webb. Our source today, COMELEC Commissioner, or former COMELEC Commissioner George Garcia. Attorney Garcia, welcome to The Source and maraming salamat po sa inyong oras.
Good morning, Ma'am Pinky. Good morning to all the televiewers. Good morning to the program.
Tama ho ba, no? Kailangan former COMELEC Commissioner na, hindi na po kayo COMELEC Commissioner.
That's right, ma'am. Actually, madami pong interpretation ang sinasabi nila. It should have ended yesterday. And sabi naman, it should be ending
Commissioner,
by June.
I'm sorry, Attorney, could you just give me a minute or so? I'm having some technical issues, please, sir, if you don't mind.
Yes, ma'am. Sure.
All right. I think this is better. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. I can hear you loud and clear.
Ayun, Attorney. Okay, maraming salamat. I apologize for that. I've been having problems since a while back. So, you are back to Attorney George Garcia, hindi na po COMELEC Commissioner George Garcia. Sir, ano po ba yung inyong naramdaman na bypass po kayo along with, 4 other individuals?
Actually, ma'am, nalungkot ako siyempre, pero po at the same time nakahinga ako ng malalim at great sign of relief dahil alam niyo po napakahirap naman talagang humarap sa commission on appointments. We understand fully the process and at the same time we fully accept yung nangyari. What can we do if there is really no quorum? The most important thing, Ma'am Pinky, is that we were not rejected by the Commission on Appointment. At least po, for the kind information of our people, of our public, we were not rejected. It was just there was no quorum and therefore we were bypassed. Wala po natanong sa amin, hindi po kami nag-undergo ng what we call as the entire full-blown hearing.
Opo. Totoo ho yun, hindi po kayo na-reject ng Commission on Appointments. But don't you feel like that's some sort of rejection considering that, if I'm not mistaken, this is the 3rd time supposedly that you had appeared in the Senate for your confirmation?
Yes, ma'am, that is right. But we should likewise put that in the proper context, proper perspective. Okay. Because we have to understand that just last week, it was last week, the chamber had just returned from a long break only for purposes of at least canvassing the results and at least yung pong matapos lang nila itong 18th Congress. And so we can fully understand na konting panahon lang po talaga just to accommodate the 5 nominees and almost 20 candidates or nominees para sa generals and almost mahigit 100 po yata na mga colonels. So talagang napakaliit po ng time, ng panahon and we may not have that enough time really to individually assess the performance, the character, the integrity of each one of us. So yung explanation po, Ma'am Pinky, that perhaps it's right for the next administration to choose whoever they wanted to appoint, perhaps maganda po. Logical naman po yan, sensible, and we can fully understand.
Mm-hmm. But you served in the COMELEC since February, I believe.
March 8th of 2022.
Any regrets, sir? Dahil inabot niyo po yung isa sa pinakamahirap siguro or controversial na trabaho ng Commission on Elections.
No regrets whatsoever, Ma'am Pinky. I'm so happy that I was a part of that historic moment. Alam niyo po, ngayon ko napagtanto na yung knowledge mo of election law is not enough. What is important is you must have the managerial skill, the operational skill, and a people approach skill, emotional quotient skill. So everything, wala po sa election law practice. Ang dami ko pong natutunan, dami pang dapat gawin sa commission election. Electoral reforms really is the key in order to ensure that what happened in 2022, at least the good things that happened, will again be repeated in the next by the next election, whether in the barangay or SK or the election of 2025. At the same time, we have to learn from a lot of mistakes that were committed so that it will not happen again by the next elections.
And it was very evident, sir, you had always been available to us, to other networks, radio stations as well. Personally, sir, I'd like to thank you for that dahil napakadali po kayong matawagan. I'm sure pagod na pagod rin kayo kakabigay ng interview. But yung pong sinasabi nyo kasing mga kailangan gawin sa susunod na eleksyon, napag-usapan po natin to that definitely one of the things that need to be done, at least the COMELEC needs a budget for the new vote counting machines. Di ba?
That is right, ma'am. As per our estimate, we need to really retire 97,000 vote counting machines, and we cannot afford to use this anymore by the next election of 2025. Try to imagine 97,000. Even for the sake of argument that a machine will be costing us, at least yung list po, na mga 65 to 70,000, that will cost the COMELEC or the people's money almost 6.7 to 7 billion pesos. But that is a very conservative estimate. I think po the proper estimate, the right estimate is really 10 billion pesos to rent or lease this almost 100,000 machines. We are hoping that our Congress will be willing to invest on at least the list of these machines so that at least we can guarantee that yung the problems of 2022 will not happen again. Yung mga breaking down machines, yung mga machines subject of repair, yung mga machines, ma'am, na medyo itataktak ng konti, yung mga machines na medyo lilinisin mo yung scanner para lang mag-count siya. So these are the problems na kakahiya rin to think na kaya nga tayo nag-computerize. So hopefully, Congress will be able to accommodate the commission election on this matter.
Attorney, do you think you'll be appointed again? Kayo po ang naging abogado ni President-elect Bongbong Marcos during his vice presidential protest.
Ma'am Pinky, with all honesty, I do not really have any idea. Wala pa po naman akong emissary na pinapadala o wala pa pong any indication whatsoever. Yes, but I already said yesterday that if in case an offer will be made, and definitely I would like to serve this administration, the incoming administration, and at the same time I would like to serve 10 times the commissioner election because of the highest professionalism that the rank and file, the employees and the officials of the commission had shown me during my 2 months of service in the commissioner election. Okay. Talaga pong sila ang mga modern heroes natin. I would really say that time and time again.
Attorney George Garcia, again, uulitin ko lang po, maraming salamat for always giving us your time. And good luck, sir. Who knows? Baka naman po ma-appoint kayo muli. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Pinky, and good luck also to your program. Mabuhay po kayo.
Thank you, sir. And thank you for joining us here on The Source. I'm Pinky Webb. You're watching CNN Philippines.